Hey everyone, welcome to Taking the Pulse, a healthcare and life sciences video podcast. I am Heather Hoops Matthews, here today with Maynard Nexon healthcare attorney Lauren DeMoss. Lauren, good to be with you.
Thanks so much, Heather. It's great to be here.
And we are coming to you live from NC LifeSci. This is the annual meeting of the North Carolina Life Sciences Organization, bringing together some of the leading companies in the world to talk about the advancements in life sciences and technology. And we are thrilled today to have Mattney Beck join us. He is the Senior Marketing Manager of Marketing Strategy at Lenovo. And I know the global technology giant has a global headquarters just down the street.
That's right. Almost right around the corner here.
Right around the corner. So we appreciate you coming, and you brought something to show us,
Absolutely.
which I, as an old person, look forward to learning more about. You oversee market strategy for AR and VR solutions for the company, and you're going to talk about ThinkReality VR headset, which we see here today. But before we dive in, can you just give us a bit more background on what you do at Lenovo, and also explain, at least to me, what XR technology is?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. What I do at Lenovo, I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for our commercial XR solutions. And what that means is Lenovo has ThinkReality, which is our commercial brand of XR solutions, which includes hardware, software, and services. And so Lenovo is known as a hardware company, right? We make ThinkPads. We're a manufacturer well-known manufacturer of PCs and laptops. And one of the things that we've done is we've built this headset for ThinkReality, which is the hardware piece of it. We've also developed a software platform which allows you to manage this device through a single interface. And then we have our global services and support that's supported all around the globe. And so what I do is I help to promote this particular device, help to enable it, get people aware of it, and help them to understand what the device does. But also I help to manage some of the, we call them proof of concepts, engagements that we have with our customers, so that we can then tell that story to our customers and our partners.
Yes.
Cool. I'm so glad you brought this today to help us kind of understand and look at it. Can you tell us a little bit about the design features and why it's particularly good for the healthcare space?
Absolutely. So the ThinkReality VRX is built really for multi-users, right? We built this in mind for the enterprise. You can see that it doesn't have any cloth material on the device. It's built with hygienic materials that can easily be cleaned and sanitized. And so one of the things is when we first started looking at the VRX as a solution for enterprise customers, such as in healthcare or in education, we knew that this headset was probably going to be shared with multiple users. And so it had to be cleaned, it had to be easily put on and worn, it had to be comfortable and easy to manage. And so that's one of the reasons why we put a lot of that into the device, to make sure that it was meeting those standards and those regulations for those organizations.
And I know you have a large R&D presence here at your global headquarters, so I assume that we're seeing some of the work that some of your colleagues just down the road put together. You know, I saw this first in your pilot program with Carolina Caring, and as someone with a parent in long-term care, I was immediately hooked to think that could take my mom out of her facility for just a little bit. Tell us about the pilot program.
Absolutely. So this was such a great opportunity. We had a colleague in our sales team who had a family member who worked with an assisted living center, Carolina Caring, and they started talking about AR and VR technology. And so she set up a call with them to kind of go over with our team, what are the possibilities and solutions that were presented there? And as we started to talk more and more about what solutions we could bring to the table, obviously the interest grew. And so, and we have one of our software application providers who does, it's a company called Rendeavor, and they do 360-degree videos, and they put them on, when you see this in a VR headset like the VRX, it really transports you out of whatever environment you're in and into that environment. So like, for instance, if you're going on an African safari, or if you're going on a scuba diving adventure, or even flying in a plane, you put this on, and everywhere you look, you're immediately immersed in that environment, and you can forget about anything else that's going on in your life and give you that experience. And so they wanted to try that out. And so we identified three individuals. They identified three individuals, three residents who were homebound or had mobility issues. They couldn't go out and travel, or they were in the facility themselves. And they had them choose, where is it that you'd like to go? Where is somewhere that you would have always wanted to go? And one lady said she always wanted to go see Victoria Falls in Africa. She was a little girl in 6th grade. This is an 80-year-old resident. She wanted to see Victoria Falls because she's seen a postcard in her 6th grade class of Victoria Falls. Always wanted to visit there. And what was great about it is Rendeavor had a scenario for Victoria Falls. And so we brought in her daughter, because this is not just a singular experience with Rendeavor. You can do multiple collaborative experiences. So her daughter got to put on a headset too with her mom, and they saw the experience together. And it was just so neat. They were saying, "Look over here, Mom. Look over there.
Really?
Look over here."
That's very cool.
She basically said, "Oh, you can just feel the spray on your face right now, can't you?" And it was really very heartwarming to see that, right? And she takes the headset off, and I think she says this on the video. She goes, "Well, now I'm 80 years old, and I finally got to go and see Victoria Falls."
Yes. Wow, that is really wonderful. All from a VR headset of that's like a memorable life experience for her.
Right.
So how is this packaged for providers? And you mentioned Rendeavor and the travel experiences, but what other capabilities are there?
Yeah. So, with Rendeavor, they have their application, and so basically our sales reps will connect you with software providers that will have specific applications to your use cases or your needs. So Rendeavor obviously is great for an assisted living center. We've got other providers that do hands-on training or even hard skills training in a healthcare environment. So you can put this headset on and learn how to take blood pressure. You can learn how to insert a syringe with different training modules that walk you through the physical aspect of doing it, right? And you think, well, how does that operate? You're not really putting a blood pressure cuff on somebody's arm, but at the same time, they're explaining, and you're in an environment that looks like an ER room or a hospital room, and you're going and the sounds are the same as if you would be in there, and so it gives you that initial exposure and that repetitive motion of being able to do that training over and over again, and to track it and to quantify it and qualify it is something that is really key for VR in these types of environments.
What do you see in the future here? What does the runway look like for this?
Well, with the with artificial intelligence, we're seeing this really take a big leap because even in training scenarios, you can have an artificial intelligent, well, we'll call it a bot, right? They're in the experience with you, helping to train you to do things even better, right? For instance, another company helps people train on their soft skills, to do presentation skills or sales skills, and it's all done through an artificial intelligence engine. And as you're doing your presentation, after the presentation, it will give you immediate feedback on anything that you might have done well, but also all the things that you've done maybe not so well and could improve on.
Yeah, and I've seen these used too with folks in physical therapy or amputees learning to use bionic, limbs or whatever. I've seen virtual reality used in those areas too, and I'm sure that's a huge benefit.
Right, absolutely. And you think about just from a training, it's really the key use case that we're seeing with VR in the enterprise space today, and even putting people in not only hazardous environments, right? They can be in a hazardous environment and learn different emergency techniques or procedures without putting themselves in harm's way. But also think about this, right? If you're in a fast food restaurant and you need to learn how to use the fryer, right? You can put on a headset and it will have all of the stuff right there. Like you won't have to pull someone off of your staff to train them. You can just put them in a headset and it teaches them how to push all the buttons and how to change the oil and maybe how to cook the food. It's become so efficient that companies are starting to recognize, hey, there's real value here, that we can have people have better information and learn quicker how to do their jobs.
And if all three of us were trainers, we'd probably train in just a slightly different way, whereas this is going to be uniform.
Yeah. And it can change, right? Sometimes your training can change over time. And that's the benefit, I should say, of this headset, is that you can then send new training modules and updates to your existing training modules via Wi-Fi that download right to the headset. So these could be, your employees could even be remote. And maybe there's a new training module that comes out. They can put the headset on, turn it on. As soon as it connects to Wi-Fi, it downloads the new module, and they can do the training right then and there. So you can keep everybody up to date all the time.
To wrap us up, how hard is it to use it? Like as an non-tech savvy person.
It is so intuitive, really. When you put this on, it kind of looks a little bulky, but when you put it on, it really feels balanced on your head. The way we designed this, we put the battery in the back and all the processors here in the front. And when you put it on, it just feels like you're wearing kind of a little bit of a heavier baseball hat, kind of a sensation. And what we've put here in the front here, you can see it's got these 2 cameras, and these are full color pass-through cameras. So even when you put it on, you still see the outside world around you. Really? And so when you launch your application, then you can go into your application and be in that 3D world. But if ever you wanted to get out of that world, there's a button here on the bottom, and you just push that button and it takes you back into the real world.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's got full color camera capacity, which gives you the ability to view the world around you. You can even walk around in this room with this headset on, not worry about running into people or walls or anything. But as you go into these applications, and this is the benefit, a lot of these software providers are building these applications to make things so intuitive. And generally, you'll have a controller in each hand with this headset, but when you look at them and you're in the headset, they look like hands, right? And you start to push buttons, and the hands start to move in ways that are familiar to you.
Yes.
And so it becomes very easy to start to learn how to use the controls with this particular device.
If somebody's interested in this, how do they find it, use it, start?
Absolutely. You can start out by going to lenovo.com/ThinkReality VRX. I know that was kind of a lot to say.
Yes.
But you can start to learn about it there. If you have a Lenovo sales rep, reach out to any of your Lenovo sales reps. They can contact anybody on our team to bring out a demo and show you how this works, and start giving you some experience in VR. Because this, I think, what this does too is it's going to start to change the way we approach training, approach a lot of different scenarios. Visualization, collaboration. We can even work together remotely inside of a virtual space and have just as efficient meetings as we did if we were in person. So,
Mattney, this is making me change the way I think, about the possibilities. Mattney Beck with Lenovo, just down the street, global tech leader. We are grateful for you taking the time to come over here at NC LifeSci. We look forward to seeing all the applications that
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
this will provide.
great to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.